Imagine this. You walk into a hotel room late at night. The lights are dim, casting strange shadows on the old walls. You try to shake off the eerie sensation, telling yourself it's just fatigue. But as the night wears on, you can't escape the unsettling feeling that someone, or something, is watching you. This is the unsettling experience of our narrator, a seasoned travel writer and paranormal investigator who has taken it upon himself to explore the darkest secrets of the world's most infamous hotel rooms. Despite being a skeptic, he has encountered strange phenomena in the past, but nothing could prepare him for what he was about to uncover on this journey. His mission is to spend a night in 5 of the world's most haunted hotel rooms, document his experiences, and uncover the stories behind the hauntings. Each of these rooms has a chilling history, a tale of murder, suicide, or unexplainable events that seem to echo through time, waiting for the next unsuspecting guest. The deeper he dives, the more he begins to feel that something isn't right. But with his curiosity driving him forward, he books his first room in New York City, starting a journey that will haunt him for the rest of his life. Room 304, New York City. Room 304 is famous in paranormal circles. According to local legend, a young woman took her own life here after being jilted by her lover. Guests report seeing her figure dressed in red, staring out the window as if waiting for someone who will never return. The narrator checks in late at night. As he unpacks, he notices an odd chill in the air, even though it's the middle of summer. He brushes it off as air conditioning, but then, as he prepares for bed, he hears a faint weeping sound coming from the corner of the room. He tells himself it's probably just a neighbor, but the sobbing gets louder, and now it sounds as if it's coming from right beside him. Suddenly, he feels a cold hand on his shoulder. He turns around, heart pounding, but there's no one there. The whispers grow louder, filling the room with a desperate, haunting plea. "Come back to me." Unable to sleep, he spends the night sitting on the edge of the bed, feeling the presence of the woman in red, watching him. As dawn approaches, the room falls silent, leaving him alone with an overwhelming sense of sorrow and dread. Room 713, Tokyo, known as the Suicide Room. This infamous room in Tokyo is said to drive people to madness. Many guests who stay here alone report feeling an uncontrollable urge to end their own lives. The room has since been closed to the public, but the narrator, eager for a first-hand experience, convinces the hotel to let him stay. From the moment he enters room 713, he feels an oppressive weight bearing down on him. It's as if the air itself is thick with despair. He notices strange markings on the walls, faded symbols that look like they've been scratched in by desperate hands. As night falls, the temperature drops, and he begins to hear faint whispers all around him. Around midnight, he hears a thudding noise coming from the bathroom. Gathering his courage, he opens the door and is met with a vision that chills him to the core. The ghostly figure of a young man, his face twisted in agony, staring at him from the mirror. The apparition raises a trembling hand, pointing directly at him, as if to accuse him of something. Shaken, the narrator retreats to the bed, but the whispers continue, getting louder and more insistent. By morning, he's overcome with a sense of despair he's never felt before, and it takes all his willpower to leave the room without succumbing to the darkness. Room 666, Paris. Room 666 is infamous in Paris. Known for the shadowy figures that appear in mirrors, the sudden drops in temperature, and the inexplicable smell of sulfur. The narrator, now carrying the emotional weight of his previous experiences, checks in with a sense of foreboding. Almost immediately, he feels an intense chill, despite the warmth outside. As he glances around, he notices something odd in the mirror. A shadowy figure standing directly behind him. He spins around, but no one is there. Throughout the night, he experiences a series of terrifying phenomena. Flickering lights, strange scratches appearing on his arms, and a deep, unsettling growl that seems to come from within the walls. At one point, he hears someone, or something, whispering his name. By dawn, he's left with claw marks on his arms and a creeping sense of dread that he can't shake. Room 4, the Queen's Suite, Edinburgh. The Queen's Suite in Edinburgh is known for sightings of a ghostly queen who roams the halls. Legend has it that this room belonged to a noblewoman who was betrayed and murdered. The narrator enters the suite with trepidation, already exhausted from the emotional toll of his previous stays. As night falls, he hears the sound of footsteps echoing in the corridor. Suddenly, the door creaks open, and a cold breeze sweeps through the room. He feels a presence, a dark, heavy feeling of rage and betrayal. Moments later, he sees her, a ghostly figure in regal attire, her face contorted in anger. She stares at him, her hollow eyes filled with vengeance. He tries to run, but the door slams shut, trapping him inside. The air grows thick with an overpowering sense of betrayal, and he hears her voice, whispering of revenge. When he finally escapes, he's left with an overwhelming sense of dread, as if he's now marked by the vengeful spirit. Room 5, the Forgotten Inn, Scotland Highlands. The final stop on his journey is a secluded inn deep in the Scottish Highlands, known as the Room That Knows Your Secrets. It's said that anyone who stays here is forced to confront their darkest fears and regrets. The narrator checks in, feeling an immediate sense of unease. As night falls, he begins to experience vivid hallucinations. He sees past events from his life, moments of regret and sorrow, playing out before him like a nightmare. Shadows swirl around him, whispering secrets he's tried to forget. At the height of the terror, a figure appears, a twisted version of himself, taunting him with his own failures. The air grows colder, and he feels an icy hand on his shoulder. In a final act of desperation, he confronts his doppelganger, shouting out his regrets. As dawn approaches, the figure vanishes, leaving him alone in the silent room. Exhausted, he stumbles out of the inn, but he can't shake the feeling that he's been marked by something dark and sinister. The narrator returns home, but the hauntings continue. He hears whispers in the dead of night, sees shadowy figures lurking in mirrors, and feels an unshakable sense of dread. It becomes clear that he didn't just visit haunted hotel rooms, he brought something back with him. Weeks later, he notices scratches on his arms, bruises that appear without explanation, and feels a cold presence watching him as he sleeps. It's as if the spirits he encountered have followed him, refusing to let go. His journey through the most haunted hotel rooms has left him forever changed, haunted by the darkness he uncovered.